light protects me. Thy divine wisdom guides me.
Quiet.
Thou my path is wrought of darkness.
Shut up.
They have our scent. Run! Just keep running.
Are you out of your mind? He's not going to make it.
He has to.
Blessed Akarat, thy eternal light protects me. Thy divine wisdom guides
Look at me! All the gold we want is right there.
No, I just came here for knowledge.
They're coming!
I know.
Get over here!
Now, breach the seal. Get us through that door!
Oh, light, help me. By three they come. By three thy way opens. Blood showed. This doesn't make any sense. Blood is the key. Blood is the key!
What?
I need two of you!
No! Go! I'll hold them! Go!
So, it says that the blood of the willing goes...
You gotta be kidding me! It worked!
We have to help him!
He's dead already.
It's a shame he didn't make it.
Oh well, cheer up. Gold splits better 3 ways instead of 4. Must be hidden here somewhere. Read this.
But by three they come, by three thy way opens, by the blood of them willing. Hail. Hail the Creator. Ha! Hail the daughter of... Oh no. No.
What about the coin? What's it say?
This is forbidden. This is a summoning. I cannot speak.
Don't lie to me!
We came here for treasure. What is this place?
I don't know. Maybe it's a temple. Or a tomb, or...
It's a gate. And blood is the key.
Blessed Akarat, thy eternal light protects me. Thy divine wisdom guides me. Though my partners walk in darkness, guide my soul to thy sacred light.
From the abyss, we seek thy salvation. By three they come. By three thy way opens. By the blood of the willing. We call thee home. Come.
Blessed Akarat, thy eternal light protects me, thy divine wisdom guides me. Though my
Open your eyes.
eternal light protects me, eternal light protects me, eternal light protects me, eternal light protects me, eternal
There
light.
is no light here. You came to the darkness for knowledge.
Yes.
And all the knowledge you seek is here. Surrender. Speak the words. Call her home.
By three they come. By three thy way opens. By the blood of the willing, we call thee home. Hail, daughter of hatred. Creator of sanctuary. Hail, Lilith.
Sanctuary was never meant for humankind. It was forged as a refuge from the war between the high heavens and the burning hells. Instead, it became a new battleground in this eternal conflict. A secretive group called the Haradrim has kept mortals safe. But now this once powerful order is a husk of what it was, and Sanctuary's ancient creators have returned to claim the hearts of humankind. This is the story of their downfall.
I should find better shelter before I freeze. road's blocked. Should clear up when the storm has passed. Another abandoned town.
Demons. Everywhere. Fangs in the dark.
Ah! He bit me!
Careful! He's a wild one.
What's it to you?
Oswen, hush! I'm sorry, Wanderer. You've come at a difficult time. This madman just stumbled into town and started causing trouble.
Demons spilling from the ruins. Kill us all. Kill us all.
Ruins? What is he talking about?
Come, I'll explain. There is evil staring in the ruins to the north. That poor monk back there must have gone inside. Even a holy man like him was driven mad by whatever he saw. I'm sorry, it's a bit cramped.
It's still better than a cave.
Alenta went a bit deaf last winter. You might need to speak up around her. Nothing special about our little town, but it's home. We'll do what we can for him. Might have to keep him in the shed for now, though. He tried to bite off Osman's fingers. Could you protect us from whatever is out there? We have nowhere else to turn.
Evil is gathering strength in those ruins. I will bring it to heal.
Truly? Oh, thank you.
Fire's looking good, but I should watch it a little longer to make sure it doesn't go out. A warm hearth. There are still things to be grateful for in this world.
If Devmir's taking up all the space by the fire, just give him a shove. Let me help you out.
What's that? You say something? Oh, you poor thing. Traveling in this awful weather.
Not while I'm in town.
Gotta protect yourself out there.
Watch out, eh? He's a biter.
I cannot do that here.
Returned.
The old ruins are clear. Your town should be safe now.
Truly. Ha! By the light, you are heaven sent. Oh, I'm so sorry. We haven't any coin to offer. But we have hot stew, good company, and...
Stay for a pint.
Wash out the taste of the stew. We'd be honored if you'd join us.
To our savior!
By mother's blood, by mother's body. So, shall you witness her glory before you die. Not ready yet.
They're coming! The whole damned village! Get up! Get up! We have to fight our way out!
There! Take them!
May the light preserve us. Lost souls! All of you!
Us now.
That was all of them. Light willing. Madman. Those heretics drugged me after I returned from the ruins. Just like you. I came to my wits and escaped. Tried to get inside the chapel, but it was locked and... What manner of evil is this? Petals? Of blood?
They must have fed them to me.
A blasphemous ritual. How did they learn this? Perhaps the answer lies in the chapel. They kept it locked up for a reason. The key might be on that woman who was leading them.
Only fire can cleanse the darkness in this place. Have a look inside, but hurry. I will prepare the torch.
Looking for the town priest. He stopped sending tithes, and I came to find out why. As I neared the village, I sensed darkness around the ruins. I went to investigate. Found the priest's body. Demons. Foolishly, I took shelter in the Vesk and ate their food. You know the rest.
Blood petals. Like the ones I was fed. Is this real?
Shameful. Our Father has granted you a path to salvation. And yet, you stray from it at every opportunity. You drink and gamble. You covet and steal. Shameful.
Sin is their birthright. My children. The lords of hell are coming to devour our world. Salvation lies not in the light, but in you. The faith has taught you to deny your heart's desire and turned you into a prisoner within yourself. Break the chains and discover who you were meant to be. Break the chains and be beautiful in sin.
Resist! Resist her temptation! Vani, it's me. I brought your child into this world. They have awakened, Mother.
The first of many. Go to the dry steps and continue your preparations. Now, our true work begins.
Do you see him too? The ghost of Kolik, my son. When he was a boy, he was taken to the Black Asylum, and now he haunts my every moment, calling to me, begging that I don't know how much more I can stand. Please, I'll pay you. End his torments. Please, see that he is laid to rest. No! No, no, no! You're dead!
Father, won't you come visit me?
No! They took you away for what you did. You...
Father, please visit. I'm waiting at the asylum.
Be gone. Be gone! Please! Be gone!
What is this? I need more time.
Captain Riker, I have new orders for you. Abandon your post, effective immediately. We need extra swords at the borders of Wuhan. I know you and your soldiers must be eager to see the Samurai again. As for your current duties, seal up the prison. I know the stories. Let them rot in their cages in darkness. If they wanted to be treated like humans, they would not have lived like animals. Perhaps we will teach them a lesson that they'll carry into the next life. Regards, Commander Finlay.
Father lied. He never once had the courage to face me. Father lied. Father lied. Father lied.
Listen carefully. I haven't much time. One of our men, Lord Evitus, was felled in the ancient city beneath the mountain. We carried his body to the ossuary, but he rose, thirsting for blood. Only I escaped. Please, you must slay him.
We demand blood.
Korik was taken away for murdering a child his age. He got what he deserved, I suppose, but now his spirit cries out. He calls to me. He won't leave me be. When they found out what he did, they put him in irons and carried him off to the Black Asylum. Years Later, the asylum was abandoned. The lucky ones are said to have starved, while the rest escaped their cells only to fight each other. It was a cruel death. It's no wonder some refuse to pass on. Yet I still feel him. I still hear his cries. I will never be free of the truth. I sent my sweet boy away for a sin of my own making. The blood is on my hands. All of it. Heavens above, forgive me. I must go visit my son. I'm coming, Korik.